I've had some requests for track plans on my two layouts. Now I'm not very techy and don't own any super software, so you're going to have to deal with my homemade graphics. I'll talk you through the track plan to help you get the scope of the operations. I have also included some additional shots to help you understand some of the detail on the layout. First, this is a point-to-point operation. If you will start at the UP yard and go to the right, you'll pass under the viaduct, past the engine shop, curve around towards the station, and enter the tunnel entrance. The track will run through the tunnel, exit out the other end, and continue through the layout. Go around the curve towards the station again. This time you'll be on the other side of the station, into the tunnel for the second time. When you exit out of the tunnel this time, you are headed for the approach up to the viaduct and into the Santa Fe yard on the bluff. The major feature that separates the layout from most 4x8s is the 14-inch wide, 4-inch tall, 8-foot long shelf along the back of the layout. It serves as the roof for the tunnel and the base for the Santa Fe yard and industrial scene that overlooks the city. Here's a view of the early stages of the upper level. You can see where I have cut back into the shelf to create the bluff. I did that to break up the straight edge of the shelf. You'll see that my track design is kind of freelance. I try to fit the structure and track into a realistic scene. I get a lot of comments on how large the layout looks. And you have to remember that there's a 14-inch by 8-foot shelf along the back side of the layout. Second, there are 43 structures on the layout, and some along the bluff are 10 to 12 inches high. And 3 sides of the table have a 4-inch high wall framing the border of the table. There's a lot of compression involved in creating Sioux Town. Some of my modeler friends tease me that there isn't any space for anything anymore. But as the old axiom goes, the sum is larger than the parts. I included a few close-up shots that might help get some insight into the industrial sidings. I hope that this will give you some help in trying to understand the Sioux Town track plan. Now on to Harbor Town. The N-scale track plan is pretty basic. It's a double-track mainline loop with a double crossover on each side for some operational flexibility. The table is an 8-foot by 30-inch long base with a 5-foot by 28-inch base across the far end of the long table. The far end of the mainline loop is partially covered with a shelf that creates a tunnel and creates the base for the city that overlooks the harbor. It also hides a third track with a switch located just inside the tunnel entrance and exits into the BNS yard on the far side and goes on to connect into the big yard. I use Cato track and switches and Digitrack to power the DC locomotives. There are 5 switching industries along the canal, and there's a small interchange yard and an engine service shop. I hope this can help you get a better insight into my Harbor Town layout. Thank you.